welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a delicious key lime pie. And today's recipe is a viewer's request, so I thank you for sending that. And again, we're going to get started on making our key lime pie, and I'll tell you the ingredients as we go. So what we'll get started making first is our crust, which is a very important part of this pie. We're going to be putting in 2 cups of already sifted flour, and we're going to be putting in 1/2 teaspoonful of sea salt. And we're going to be putting in 1/2 cup of cold butter. So you just pour that right on into it, and let's chop that up and mix it together. So just chop it up first, or if you got a KitchenAid, just pop it on into that to form a ball. And what I'm going to be adding into this now is 1/2 cup of cold water. And then we're going to mix it all together. Okay, so after you've done it that much, take your hand and start working it through to form a ball. Now the reasons for using cold butter is because it makes a delicious flaky crust. And cold butter keeps it together nice. And when you get it all formed out, it rolls really nice. So just form it into a ball. So after you've formed it into a ball, what you could do is let it rest for a little while in the fridge. And the better it's cold, or the more colder it is, the better the dough would be. But right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you how to do it right this way. So this pastry recipe we're using today is enough for 2 crusts, pie crusts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll both of them out. One I'm going to use for this pan to make the key lime pie. The other one I'm going to show you how to keep for another time. So what I'm going to do now is cut the dough in half and only roll it half at a time. Okay, so that's all we need to do there. We got 2 pieces of dough. One we're going to use now, and the other one I'm just going to put to the side there now, and we'll get to that one after. And the reason for that, again, we only need the 1 pie crust, but I always like to keep 1 pie crust in the freezer for another pie when I want to make it, and I don't have time to make the crust. And like you said, this crust is probably 50 cents for each one, $1 to make the 1 ball. So that's pretty cheap, and it's homemade. That's all you need to do. And just look how easy it is to lift it off your placemat, whichever one you're using. You could roll it out on parchment paper or just on the countertop. So just have it rolled out enough to fit into your pie pan, and then I'll show you how to make some fancy little marks around it. And grease your pan before you put the pie crust in. You might have heard me say in previous videos, I'm not about the fancy, so you just grease your pan. You don't have to be perfect even with the crust, just as long as it fits in there nice. And you go around the sides like this, pinching it so it'll stay onto the pan. And any places that it don't have a little bit, pinch a bit off and put it over like this, so you're kind of building your crust. And that's okay if it got character. So after you've done that, just poke little holes in the bottom, and this will stop the pie from rising up into a big bubble. It gives it that room to breathe. So now what we're going to do, I'm just going to put that one to the side, and we're definitely going to get back to it. We're going to roll out this second crust, which we don't need now, but I'm just going to show you what to do with it after you roll it out. And for those of you that you probably already seen me do this before, when I was making a pumpkin pie recipe a while back, and I had more than I needed. I usually make more, so as I'll have it on hand. So I'm just going to roll it out first. Now as well, I usually give the option when you're using butter, I'd say butter or margarine. I recommend using just the butter for this, but if you don't have access to it, most certainly you could use the margarine for sure. So what I'm going to do now is just roll this back up on my rolling pin. I'm going to grab for some parchment paper. Okay, so that's parchment paper and a little bit of clear wrap. So the clear wrap I'm going to take off here now, just move to the side for just a moment. But the pie crust I'm going to roll out back onto the paper. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to flip over your parchment paper like this, and you're going to roll your pie crust into the parchment paper like this. Fold it over on both sides. Take your clear wrap. So you're making a pie crust for when you need it. You don't have to go to the store, you just got to take it and pull it out of your freezer. So you go like that and then pop it into your freezer. After you take it out of your freezer, leave it out at room temperature for 10-15 minutes, unwrap it, roll it back out, it's good to go. So that's what you do with that one. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, what we're going to do is put our pie crust in the preheated oven, 350 degrees for 10 minutes. We don't need it to be golden brown, we just need it to be baked. So I'm going to put this one in, take the one I already got made out, let it go at room temperature to cool down. We'll get making our filling. Okay, so we don't need it much longer than that, because what happens there is we only want the pie crust to be baked and not brown, because we're going to be putting this back into the oven when we get the filling in, when we get the meringue on, and bake it again for another 10 minutes. So let's get started now on the filling. So now to make our key lime pie filling. So we need 4 egg yolks, and we'll use the whites for over in the other bowl for our meringue. So I'm just going to break it, take the whites out. Now I just do a little shuffle here, take it out that way, pop it in there. So now if you got a different way that you remove the yolk from your egg, you can do it the way that you like it. But this is all I do there. Shuffle it back and forth and then pop it into both bowls. Last but not least. So now pretty much that's all you need to do there. Now this is room temperature eggs. Leave your shells for your compost or your garden now. So I'm going to put my egg whites over to the side because I'm not making that right now. We're going to be making our filling. So after you got your 4 egg yolks into your bowl, mix it around till there's a nice yellow color like this. You keep your whites to the side to make the meringue. Then we're going to add a half a cup of lime juice, and you're going to pour it right on into the bowl. Then you're going to open your can of sweetened condensed milk, and you're going to pour it on in with the lime juice and the egg yolks until they're all combined. Just mix it on in. So just scoop all of the sweetened condensed milk out. Now there's easier ways to do this. You could put it in warm water, but I don't want it warm. I want it at room temperature. So just scoop it out with a spatula like this till you get it all. And the lime juice we're using is freshly squeezed, and it's about four limes that you would need to put this delicious filling together. So after you've mixed that together, take your filling now and put in the fridge to keep cool. And then what we'll do now is to make our meringue. So what you're going to need is an ice-speed blender to mix up the meringue. You're going to need a half a teaspoonful of cream of tartar and a half a cup of white sugar. So let's get started. Okay, so when you start the blender, put your half a teaspoonful of cream of tartar in the bowl. Blend it till it gets soft peaks. And just nice and foamy as well, and it got to be on the high speed. So what we're going to do now is gradually pour in the white sugar as we're blending it, probably a teaspoonful to a tablespoonful at a time, until it's all blended. I'm going to reach for my filling now. This is the meringue, and we're going to take off some zest from our limes because we want that for after it's out of the oven, and we can sprinkle that with. So let me just reach for my filling, show you what that looks like. All right, so that's all to that. So I hope you're excited about making all of this, because this key lime pie is absolutely delicious, and of course we've had viewers requests before for this one, so I'm glad we're getting to it. So I'm just going to get my spatula, we'll start scraping in the filling, then the meringue, and I'll show you all that together. So first, before we put the filling into the baked pie crust, we're going to be taking 6 helpings of the meringue and pop in there. Now, so what I like about this makes it a nice texture. So you just pop that into that one. We'll mix it now after. It don't have to be exact, but I'm kind of using a tablespoonful so that I'll show you what it's like. And that's all you need to do there. So after you've put your meringue into your filling, just stir that around until it's all combined, because it's got to mix in through. And this will help keep that together nice. So that's all you got to do there. So then you're going to take your filling and you're going to pour into your already baked pie crust like this until it's all in there. Just scrape it on in like that until all the filling is in there. So after you've done that, now you're going to take your meringue and you're going to put all out onto the top of the filling. And then we're going to spread it all over. Okay, so just pour this on out over. Now, the cream of tartar keeps this together, the meringue. So the purpose of having it in there, and if you don't want it in there, you can just use the sugar and the egg white. So you just put it out around like this, make little peaks, and now we're going to put it into the oven, and I'll tell you what that is. Okay, so what I mean about to tell you what that is, we're going to be putting it into a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes. It could be a little less, it could be a little more, depending on your oven and when it's a nice golden brown. So I'm going to put that in the oven. We got one made in advance that's already at room temperature or cooled overnight in the fridge and now at room temperature. I'm going to show you what that one looks like, but I'm going to pop this one into the oven. So like I was saying, we got one down here in advance, so I'm excited to cut into it and show you what it looks like on the insides. So on the inside of the pie. So as you know now, you from scratch, you know how to do the pie crust, the filling, the meringue. Now it's the best part, eating it. And this is for any occasion you can have this pie. As well, after you take it out of the oven, put a little bit of the lime zest over the top. This will keep it nice and fresh and you'll get that taste of lime. So I'm going to cut into it now. Okay, so this is exciting. I know Raymond's over there drooling now, but I'm going to cut off mine and I will give him some after. We'll share. And you guys will have to make this pie as soon as you see this video.
I want the bigger piece.
Oh my gosh, just look at this pie, how delicious it looks. And I know it's going to be just as tasty. Let's put this one here for you to see, and I'm going to turn this around so you can see that as well. I want to top this with some more of our lime zest and just make this just too good to eat. Okay, I can't wait to have a taste of this delicious key lime pie. The crust is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's nice and flaky. And anyway, I'm gonna have a taste. Oh my goodness, so delicious. All of that lime just bursting through there. The meringue just done nice. I got a cup of mint tea to go with it. So delicious. 2 thumbs up by Bonita's Kitchen. This is a delicious pie for any occasion. Certainly if you're expecting company and you want to impress them, certainly this would be the pie to go with. So if you enjoyed this recipe and you like to see more of our traditional, non-traditional Newfoundland recipes, viewers' requests, and some by me, just subscribe to our channel. Hit the link. It'll prompt you to what you need to do. We'll also provide the recipe down there under this video for you. You can visit us on our Facebook page. You can send us a message on www.bonitaskitchen.com or right here on YouTube. We'd like to thank the viewers again for requesting this key lime pie today, and I hope that you enjoyed the helpful hints on how to make extra pastries for later. And like you said, this pie is too good to eat. 2 thumbs up. Don't forget to like and share our videos, and if you never subscribed yet, please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us today from our kitchen to yours. You have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours. Bonita's Kitchen, kitchen to yours.
If you're visiting Newfoundland and Labrador, don't forget to include the beautiful town of Portagrave in your travels, and visit us again on Bonita's Kitchen.